a lot of it is non-physical and, in a sense, beyond my ability to really explain or share in words that make sense. So a lot of it just is vibratory stuff, like expansions and bliss and all that. But on a very physical level, yes, I can say that within a time span of 6 days, I've gone from one reality, meaning living in $1 million house, paying a certain amount of rent, to suddenly having an idea to move back in with some of my crewmates, and just this very spontaneous, random thought came up for us to move back in together. And we said, let's get a mansion. Okay, let's get a mansion. And even 2 days later, we've seen the place, we've talked to the realtor and all that. And now we're actually getting to save $12K a year by moving into a $4.5 million house. And I've been feeling excited about getting a Tesla. So the very same day that we're moving into getting all these things done, and there's a few other things that simultaneously are occurring. So this is like this intersection moment. I always have these intersection moments where everything starts to change rapidly. And as we drive out of our driveway, which is pretty secluded right now, there's this red Tesla. It's exactly the model that I ordered, that as we move out of it, it comes into this lane. And then we park next to the tea house where we're having a nice meeting, and we're all in the space of imagination and endlessness and infinite abundance. And we go back to our car, and there's a Tesla right next to our car. Then we move on to the next place, and I park somewhere, I step out of the car, and opposite of me, there's a Tesla. And I saw 5 Teslas that day, and they're pretty rare. That's just one example. But everything, like little details like furniture and communication, being called by banks to be offered certain things, everything just conspires in a single day to make everything happen. And then the very next day you look back upon your life, and everything has changed. And the day before that you had no clue. Right? So this happens more and more on a daily basis, and you're in a constant state of bliss, and you get constant confirmation, constant proof that the sky is the limit. And that many people get stuck also. This is something I'd like to share. When it comes to super accelerated living, a lot of people deal with the issues of lack of means to do what you wish to do or to create what you wish to create. We feel stuck based on the circumstances that we focus upon. This is all based on the fact that you believe that there's only one physical reality and that there's only X amount of things inside of that reality, forgetting that there's infinite parallel realities. And whatever reality you desire already exists. You can't steal it from anyone. You can't give it to anyone. You can only experience the reality that you're generating, that you're the vibrational match to. So there's infinite abundance. Many people, feel very guilty when it comes to money, when it comes to creating, when it comes to wanting what they desire, because automatically, based on their erroneous, might I add, view of reality, they think, well, the more I get, the less someone else gets. Nothing is further from the truth. The more you get, the more everyone else gets. The more you're able to give, the more you're able to share. People are very, what shall I say? Let's just call it ironic. Arrogantly ironic. Let's call it that. When they wish to save the world. When they wish to be selfless. People are very ironic when they wish to be selfless. Because what they do, how they think they can be selfless and of service, is by depriving themselves of the things they desire. It's the worst thing you can do for mankind. It reinforces the idea that lack is existent and that we have to keep generating lack as a collective. It keeps reinforcing the image in other people that they should also do that, and that as soon as they stand out above the crowd, we judge them. Oh, how dare you be happy? Oh, but wait a second, didn't you want them to be happy? That's why you're not happy? Because that way you're helping them be happy, but then they're happy, and you're not happy about them being happy because they should be serving other people by being unhappy. This is a very erroneous mind loop that many people are caught in unconsciously, unknowingly. They don't understand the irony. They don't see how erroneous these ideas are. You have to rise above the crowd. You have to create the reality you desire. In fact, that's the only thing you can do. That's why you're here. You have been generating as abundantly as I have the reality that you've created for yourself, whatever that may be. If you're living in a tent, which is not less than a $4.5 million house, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're living in a tent and you don't like to live in a tent, But you do so out of believing that you should be living in a tent because it's the most eco-friendly way to live, or it's the most selfless way to give an example to other people that we should go back to nature. If this is all genuine for you, if this is all exciting to you, that's absolutely perfect. You see, then you're doing exactly what I'm doing in a different way. What is exciting to me is to show the world that there is no end. That at 26 you can live in a $4.5 million house, just as one statement. I make many statements. I'm not doing this to prove anything, but this is my natural theme, this is my natural flow. To live large, to live big, to live adventurous, to not be afraid, to find the loopholes in the system that are legal, but just loopholes meaning to be creative, to have access to creativity, and to pay less for something that's worth way more, just as examples of how stuck we are in believing we have to wait for the means. Keep planting new seeds constantly. Don't watch them germinate. That's what I'm doing. So as this house either comes about or comes not fully comes about, doesn't matter where I'm at. What I'm creating is the very next thing that excites me. That's what I'm in. And naturally, the trail that I leave behind is the trail of manifestation. The law of attraction will put that trail behind me. I do not have to worry about the house and the winds of that trail because what I prioritize is feeling good. I feel so much better when I feel good than when I have what I think I want but not feel good. The more you notice this, the more you learn this, it's simply a matter of wisdom, gaining wisdom through contrast, through bumping into your experience over and over again until you know, I want to feel good. And when I feel good, I just get everything that I desire so quickly, so effortlessly, and in even better ways than I imagine it being possible according to physical reality. So, you're always free. You're always generating what you desire. You're never feeling guilty. And if you do, you recognize it's a limiting belief, and you move on. You recognize that you're inseparable from creation, and you can generate whatever you want, and there's no guilt. There is enough for everyone. You can generate exactly what you want, and by generating exactly what you want, you're able to give that much more of who you truly are. And the other thing I was going to say about that is, again, people are waiting for their means in order to make their life happen. They're very much focused on what they have. If you're focused on what you have, your state of being reflects what you have, which is limitation to an extent. What will you attract in the future? More of what you have, which is limitation to an extent. So if you wish to have limitation to a lesser extent, you have to be more imaginative. You have to realize that you can generate whatever you want, and you have to be in a feeling state of absolute certainty that anything can happen and that you are simply meant to generate happiness for yourself and others as a result, as a natural byproduct. Don't go by the system. If you're caught in the ideas of logic and reasoning and linear reality, and you're not open to things coming your way in unpredictable, surprising, non-linear, non-physical, non-governmental ways, we're also based on the government. Oh, the government does this, the government will do this. Oh, it'll take care of me. It'll save my money until I'm old enough, and then I'll get it back. Don't depend on the system. You generate your own system. You're meant to be your own government, your own God. You're meant to be your own level of support. The government would not exist if we were not lame. Okay? You're all lame. We're all lame. We're very lame. We're very lazy vibrational beings. And we don't take up the responsibility of creating our own life. It's an immediate physical manifestation, the government. The government has so much power over us. It's an immediate physical reflection of us saying, no, thank you. I don't want to take care of myself. I don't want to live my life. I don't believe I can do the things I want to do. I'm not worthy. You all do it for me so that I can see you back on television, pretend it's real, and blame you for everything that goes wrong in my life. Right? Just one form of manifesting your reality. Very powerful. Good job. You can switch that around, though. You can realize that you are meant to be your own governmental system. Your life can be in your own hands. You can live on an island. Literally and metaphorically, energetically, you can live on an island where no cop will ever enter, where no government will ever enter, where no one will ever know about you because they don't have to, because you're living free and you're creating your own reality. You're supporting yourself. You're your own support system. You're your own government. You rely on your vibrational aptness. So you rely on your own mastery, basically. As soon as you learn to take care of your own vibration, the manifestation will show this to you. And you won't be giving away that to random ideas anymore. So also as a side note to that, there's so many creative ways to quote-unquote get what you want or desire, to manifest that without having to wait for the traditional means to get it. But again, you have to be willing to be fearless. You have to be willing to take risk, to be all in. It's a high stakes game. You have to be willing to go all in every single day. And if you do, you will be rewarded. You will win the lottery. You will get what you desire. It's because you're not holding back energetically. It's because you are not relying on an external system, on your unconsciousness, in other words. You're relying on your consciousness. You say, I can handle this. I can consciously choose to feel good. Of course, honor wherever you're at. Don't overstep your boundaries, but do try to overstep your boundaries and see how far you can get away with it until you start to, in a sense, collapse or really doubt yourself. And then you take a step back. You re-assimilate. You observe, you take some time, you take a shower, you stop creating as intensely for a while, you don't live as super accelerated for a few days, and you take a step back and you relax, and you observe all that happened, and all that came up for you, and your subtle belief systems, and you start unmixing your frequencies and making them even more precise, even more conscious, even more godlike, even more powerful, even more joyful, even more self-sufficient, self-fulfilling. And then you step it up a notch once again, and you follow these guidelines. These 10 ways. And your life will become an insane reflection that other people will be baffled. If they see you 1 year later, they're like, what did you do? What's going on here? Did you rob a bank? I had a friend that came in to my present house and he said, what kind of pyramid scheme do you have got going on here? And it's good. It's a good example. People start seeing what is possible for themselves. Because if you can do it, they can do it. They may not immediately believe that, depending on how ready they are. But if you exude that you can do it, then what are you showing them? They can't do it either. And am I saying that you need to create your life in some kind of epic, manifest way? No, you don't. You don't at all. It's just a natural byproduct to a certain degree, depending on how relevant that is for your theme. For mine, right now, it just feels very relevant to expand in that particular way as well as a byproduct. But I'm not fooled by it. I'm not sidetracked by it. I'm not materialistically focused. Because as soon as one gets materialistically focused, one loses touch with one's non-physical nature, which is where the abundance comes from. So literally what I'm looking at when I'm seeing the manifestation happen so quickly for me and in such seemingly non-logical, non-linear ways, I see the effortless manifestation of where I'm holding my vibration, my center of alignment. But I'm staying here even as I'm witnessing it. Doesn't mean I don't get excited or don't ever yell or like, yeah! But even when I do that, I feel that I am my environment and there is no separation. So I'm not going to go, oh, I am dependent on this physical matter, this piece of brick, this amazing set of bricks with this amazing view somehow determines my happiness, my vibratory state. Because then as soon as it burns to the ground or I lose it for whatever reason, I lose my vibration along with it. As soon as you get too attached to the physical manifestation, your higher self is smart enough to take it away from you. Because it's teaching you how to be a vibrational master, not how to hold on to brick and cement. It's teaching you how to be free. Once you get how to be free, once you understand that what you truly want is to feel good, then the manifestation will happen right in front of your eyes. And you'll look at it, and you'll engage with it, and you'll feel happy about it, and you'll feel at one with it, and you feel love through it, and you feel absolutely free from it. It's never yours, even though you own it. And even though you feel like you own it, like vibrationally, it's actually your creation. In that sense, you own it. But you don't hold on to it. Because what you truly own is infinite abundance, infinite means, infinite possibilities. And that is way more exciting of a manifestation than just one aspect of it in physical form. Does that make sense? So this is the way you can live both attached and unattached. Free. Not attached to unattachment, but naturally unattached, because what you're really attached to is your vibratory state, your alignment. And I've been feeling excited about getting a Tesla. So the very same day that we're moving into getting all these things done, and there's a few other things that simultaneously are occurring. So this is like this intersection moment. I always have these intersection moments where everything starts to change rapidly. And reality meaning living in $1 million house, paying a certain amount of rent, to suddenly having an idea to move back in with some of my crewmates, and just this very spontaneous, random thought came up for us to move, and to move back in together. And we said, let's get a mansion. Okay, let's get a mansion. And even 2 days later, we've seen the place, we've talked to the realtor and all that. And now we're actually getting to save $12K a year by moving into a $4.5 million house. And, or share in words that make sense. So a lot of it just is vibratory stuff, like expansions and bliss and all that. But on a very physical level, yes, I can say that within a time span of 6 days, I've gone from one. Now, a lot of it is non-physical and, in a sense, beyond my ability to really explain.